Thanks for tuning in to the Loser Kid Pinball Podcast. I am Josh Roop. With me, my co-captain,
Scott Larson.
And we are at episode 178 today. We're doing some pre-Expo shenanigans, talking about notes and stuff like that. The big drop right now is Star Wars Fall of the Empire. If you want to get one, Scott, where are you picking it up from?
Call Zach and Nicole Mini at Flipping Out Pinball. They always hook me up really quickly. And again, they have great options for toppers, accessories. If you're looking for a classic game, they can probably do some hunting and they may be able to work on something. And so reach out, Zach and Nicole Mini, Flipping Out Pinball. They respond quite quickly.
Yes.
Facebook Messenger is actually the quickest way, but you can also go to their website.
Yeah. Rachel Risto had asked if there was any female-owned pinball distributors out there, and we're like, Nicole Many.
I'd say, Zach and Nicole, and they're a team, and every time we see them, I mean, they're working together, and Nicole definitely works very heavily behind the scenes, and so
she does a great job. So,
well, and also, okay, there are others that their people are prominently involved in too.
Yes.
So it's not just a stereotypical dude environment.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So we got a bunch of stuff on our notes. It's Expo week. It's Sunday night, so this will probably release tomorrow, Monday morning, is my guess.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to talk some pre-Expo stuff, kind of what we're excited for going into this. I know we just had Rob Burke on. I did find it funny. Someone had said that we needed to ask more hardball questions with Rob. I don't know what those would have been. So,
I don't know. The only thing I can possibly think of is you can ask them more things on, like, hey, basically maybe controversial things that people haven't liked about the Expo, but it didn't really feel like that was the point of the interview. The point of the interview was, hey, if you want to come to Expo, what are you going to see, and what are the positive things? You're always going to find areas that people wish were better.
Yeah,
but I will point out, since my first Expo and the last Expo I went to, it has increased exponentially. And
exploded.
And the bottom line is competition is good. Right? We notice this in pinball. It's the same thing with really anything. Pinball would probably not be what it is if Wizard of Oz wasn't released, because that was an inflection point that changed the direction of pinball. And so that actually made Stern recalibrate what they're doing. I would argue that what Texas is doing has forced Pinball Expo to recalibrate what they're doing too, and has really successfully brought it into more of a fan experience, which is so good. And I hope they continue just on that trajectory. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And speaking of Stern, they just released Star Wars Fall of the Empire. I'm excited to play this game at Expo. I'm hearing the same complaint from everyone, though. I don't know if you're hearing this, Scott, but the Death Star shot is rejecting a lot. And people are frustrated with that.
Yeah.
And the shots are a little tight but findable.
Sure. But okay, how many this is that balance that we've always walked through in pinball, right? We want it to be challenging but not too challenging. We also don't want it to be challenging but too easy, right? And we went through this with Munsters. With Munsters, it's a pretty accessible layout, right? And nobody gave Munsters like a positive review, which is like, what do you want? Do you want it to be challenging? And this is where the designers have to walk that balance of, you have to have a certain amount of shots that are easy to find, and also the ones that are a little more challenging, and then maybe an elite shot here or there. I would argue that Jurassic Park is probably one of the best examples of that, because the left ramp anybody can hit, right? It is dialed into the correct location. Then you get the more challenging shot. The more challenging shot would be the right ramp, because for me, that's a little more challenging to hit. And I would say the elite shot is the tower shot, where you're hitting it from the upper flipper and going across. Now, finding that balance on any game is going to be challenging. So on Fall of the Empire, I'm really hoping to get my hands on it to say, okay, so is this, how would I, and I am a very average player. Like I don't have time to do tournaments and all that kind of stuff. And so it'll be really interesting for me to play that game, especially with the triple drain guys, because those guys are at least two of them are tournament players, and it'll be interesting to pick their brain on it. But it, it seems like a good game. It's a good theme, so
It
I'm
is.
interested in playing it.
It is, and I get where you're coming from, but I think specifically people are frustrated with, like, you shoot the Death Star and it rejects. It's not
Sure.
like you hit the shot clean and it bounces back, it doesn't register. When it's not when it's rejecting 80% of the time. Like,
Hmm.
we heard this from Travis and Tom, who play
Yep.
tournaments a lot. People are avoiding the Death Star because it's just too hazardous. It's not, the multi-ball is not worth the risk reward. People that have this at home are getting frustrated, and the Stern techs are reaching out and saying, "Hey, um, this is what you do." And some people say they've done it and it fixed it for like a day and it goes right back.
Mm.
It's just, um, do you think this is a quality issue? Because I don't know. Someone pointed this out to me. I forgot about this entirely. A couple years back, supposedly they went through a shuffle of the people on the floor,
Hmm.
and they've gotten a bigger percentage of people on the floor are now new that are putting these games together. And it kind of makes sense because I feel like some of the quality control issues have been a little up versus what they've been in the previous years. It seemed like they were up for a bit up until about slightly after Avengers. And it seemed like after Avengers, everything was kind of under control there for a little bit. And now it feels like they're up again. It seems like with King Kong, you've got the vertical up kicker. It it shoots and it launches the ball out and hits the glass and stuff. You do a little bit of adjustment there. It's not a big deal. Um, Same with Star Wars. I mean, I know with John Wick, people were having issues with the trunk and stuff like that. It just seems like we're having more issues from the last year and a half. Um, yeah, it's hard. You spend $7,000 to $13,000 on these game brand new in box, and you want them to work. And I get there's tweaking out of the box. Like, you should always expect that with any game you get out of the box, but it becomes this, like, when it's an actual issue, like in the case of X-Men, when they were having issues with my mind just went blank. Can you remind
Well, so the auto launcher, like
Oh, the auto
that's
launcher,
yeah,
correct.
that's one thing.
Yeah, the auto launcher, and just some of the ramp issues they were having there as well, and people with the Sentinel hands, and granted, that's why a lot of people went to pros and whatnot as well, but it seemed like full kits were going out for X-Men and stuff too. Um, I really don't remember much with Dungeons& and Dragons, do you?
Not much with Dungeons and Dragons that I know about. I will say there's definitely some recency bias though. People definitely remember the last game and the current game. It was like, oh well, this how okay. I'm looking through my collection here, and there are things that have always had challenges. I mean, do you remember on Rush? You have a lot of people have to install the loop fix because it wasn't registering. So it's basically a little thing that you buy and you put in there to to make sure the ball hits the optical sensor.
Yeah.
So you have that. You also have like on Iron Maiden, there were people who were having a hard time hitting the Pharaoh shot, and Led Zeppelin. I mean, the little spinny, the rising spinner was having issues, and so really, it seems like almost every game is going to have something. And even with Rush, we even talked to Bork about this, where the people were like, "Oh, that scoop is going to get banged, so we're going to have to put like these things on it." So Stern was responding and saying, "Okay, well, if people feel like we need that, then maybe we'll go ahead and do it." So every game has these little teeny tweaks. I think we just forget about them because eventually they get set up and worked out. And especially
Yeah.
with a company like Stern, they do have a track record of actually fixing the issues.
Well,
So
and I guess thinking back to the only games I really bought new are all Elwins. I mean, you can tell right behind me,
right,
Godzilla,
right.
Jaws, King Kong. I did get Foo Fighters. I didn't
Hmm.
feel like there was much issues with Foo Fighters, but I got the
Hmm.
Pro. I don't know if there was issues outside the
Hmm.
Pro, but I do remember Jaws, the fin target
Hmm.
kind of, laid over. Godzilla, at least with me, it seemed like the opto on top of the skyscraper went bad really quick. But since I did the replacement on that, it's been fine. Um, yeah, I guess there are little tweaks. I don't know. I think people are, I guess X-Men's just a really great example because it feels like May that was just half baked when it came out, and it
Well,
it should have had more time to cook.
yeah, in fairness, it was pushed. And so we do know that. And so I'm going to give it a little bit of a pass on that one. When it is dialed in, it's actually great. Like the shot paths are fun. They work around and it's a fun shooter. Unfortunately, it's not as consistent as the other games that they come out with. As in, open it up and set it up, and it should be pretty good. I'm not too worried as long as they are actively addressing issues. So I'm going to put this as a talk to me in 6 months and see how it is. This is going to be a long seller because it's now you have basically three recent Star Wars themed games. You have the Mandalorian, you have the Richie Star Wars, and you have Fall of the Empire. So people can use them, but you can figure out which one you prefer. I would argue in 6 months, let's revisit this and see if people are still having issues. Because if they still are having issues, they're going to sell it, right? And the Richie Star Wars had that fork ramp that people always had problems with.
Well, just even the plunge, dude. Like everyone
Right.
hated the plunge.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting because otherwise, if you're not going to allow your designers to take risks or take challenges, then great. Make Medieval Madness and slap a new sticker on it every time because it's a tried and true layout and you're not going to have much issues, but that's not what people are going to want.
So I guess my next question is, this time last year, I can't remember if Metallica was revealed the week before, if it was just pretty much dropped.
It was either the week before or the week of.
I really think it was the week of.
I think it was the week of
And
because if I remember correctly, I couldn't fly in right then. So you actually went to the Stern factory to play Metallica for the influencers, whatever they want to call it. And I flew in and I directly drove from the airport to Stern and I met you there.
yes. So do you think, because I mean, even if we reveal tomorrow, or I guess it's today
Mhm.
or Tuesday, I mean, we usually receive an email about 2 weeks out saying, hey, we're revealing
Something's coming, right.
something's
Something's
coming.
coming.
Set aside your schedule for this day. This is what we have for Media Day. But the thing is with Star Wars had a bunch of people not there, like Carrie Hardy, us, most of Triple Drain wasn't there. I mean, your heavy hitters, you don't have Joel there, and
Mhm.
there he's pushing great numbers through streaming and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to like throw any shade on the media people who are there. What I'm saying is there was a lot of people that give you a lot of good media coverage, just weren't there.
Right.
And they all said the same thing, right? We're gonna be at Expo. We're just gonna come check it out when we're there
Well,
at
o
Expo.
okay, in fairness, the reason why I didn't go, and probably the reason why you didn't go, the most challenging thing that I have is my work is not super flexible for me to take a day off on short notice. I can get time off if I want it, but it's usually I have to engineer it, and so for me, it was in middle of the week, it was a Wednesday. I would have had to either get a short day on Tuesday and take Wednesday off, which right now we are short staffed. I don't have that opportunity. And buying a ticket last minute to Chicago, it's like $900 from Utah. So it's not cheap. So you're paying that and then you're paying for whatever time off you have at work. And even like the expo ticket I bought for me and my son was 650. So it's great, but last minute times it can be a little more challenging for people who don't live close. If people live close, they can probably drop in and do like a Wednesday thing. I would hope that they would consider in the future doing either a Monday thing or a Friday thing. And by the way, I like that they're even doing this because even 2 years ago they weren't doing this, right? So
Yeah.
at least they are making an effort to reach out to the people who are pushing news on their product or discussion on their product. So I'm at least grateful that they have started doing this. Some tweaks that would help me personally would be I could probably sneak a Friday or a Monday would be a little easier. middle of the week, it can be super challenging.
Well, but you could pull Retro Ralph. Retro Ralph did he did Friday. He's like, I can't be there Thursday. I'm in a business meeting up in New York, but
Mhm,
I'll just do a long delayed layover on Friday in Chicago, and I'll just zip on over and we'll get some stuff done. And they
mhm.
were totally fine with it. I think they're flexible so long as the game has been shown, right?
Sure. Yeah,
Um,
you can show up after. Like, I showed up after X-Men was shown, and I was able to see X-Men. But, okay, that also depends on who's available. Like, Wason was able to come down and show me X-Men at the time, and even George Gomez stopped by, Gary Stern stopped by, so I was able to see people, but it is totally dependent on what their availability is for the day. So that they just happen to have, like, be able to work me in that day. But it
yeah.
is more convenient for them to say, okay, all the people who are going to be streaming or podcasting, right, like all the 20 people who routinely do this, it's nicer if we can all get there at the same time.
So my question to you is it even beneficial having the media there? We were
Yeah,
talking to
yes.
someone behind the scenes that said
Mhm.
because Stern is a business to business company,
Yeah,
that it doesn't actually help that. It's more of the business to the consumer that it helps. So if you're sponsored, like we are with Flipping Out Pinball, it
sure.
helps out flipping out pinball, but the general sales of pinball, it doesn't make much of a blip. Do you think that's true or do you think that's hyperbole?
Well, if you're looking at it through a microscope, you're right. It doesn't make a difference because they're buying, the businesses are buying from another business. However, where are those businesses selling? The business that are buying these things, they are selling. I mean, I know a few small distributors and I've talked behind the scenes with them. And there are people who are like, well, I still have some games and I can't sell. And so therefore it affects my ability to buy new ones. And so in the grand scheme of things, it does make sense to do these because how many times, Josh? I guarantee you got these calls when they put the Star Wars Home Edition in Costco. How many people took a picture when they were at Costco and sent it to you?
A
I at
bunch.
least I got 5 to 10, and these are
Yeah.
a lot of them were people who weren't even in pinball.
Yeah, but Costco's a whole nother monster. And we know that. Like, just go look at
Okay,
the content creation for Costco. It's insane to see the numbers there.
okay, but these are people who didn't even know that pinball was still being made, and
True.
so being able to say, yeah, that this is pinball, and so it is interesting because I was able to talk to them and say, okay, yeah, this is a nice game. It still is a very entry level new game. It still is a great game, but they sell higher level stuff through their distributors, and people start looking. So I know personally, there's a nurse at work who randomly bought a Jurassic Park Home Edition at Costco. Well, now she also has a Godzilla Premium that she got through flipping out. So that definitely helped her, but she's not gonna jump right to the Godzilla Premium if she didn't buy the Jurassic Park Home Edition. So I think you're still able to move people saying, "Hey, yes, I'm interested in pinball," and there has to be a way of keeping things relevant and keeping people talk about your product because otherwise it's gonna die. Otherwise, you're gonna be RC Cola, right?
Right. So I guess maybe I missed it. But so my question to you is do you think it's smart for Stern to still have media days?
Yes.
Y- y- Because do you think it helps drive the needle on sales? Because you
I
brought
think
up
it
Costco and stuff like that. And I think that was a brilliant loss. That was a brilliant advertising
Sure.
way to do that because then people are like you said, they're in Costco, they're seeing that. Yeah, they're cheap or whatnot, but it starts the silver ball itch, the silver ball
Yeah.
bug, right? So because here's one thing is someone has said they brought Jack Danger in as the head of community because they would need to
Sure.
build out their social media presence. So that way they're controlling narrative. And then that way it's feeling more authentic to Stern, which I don't know how being inside the building, I don't know. It is what it is. But that's the thing though, is like, so I've done some research.
Okay.
Granted, I don't have the full numbers in front of me.
Sure.
Just YouTube numbers alone, we're on par with what Stern's releasing right now for views. And if you start figuring in our podcast numbers, we're double at least.
Sure.
And
But
same with Carrie, same with Retro Ralph, same with flipping out streaming. So, so do you build upon those numbers? Do you take some the people you know that are going to be driving content? Because here's the thing too is someone that's getting into this. I don't know about you. When I first got in, I researched the heck out of it. I
mhm,
researched for almost 2 years before I even landed on anything that I actually wanted to buy. And even then, I feel like I made the wrong choice. But I'm having a hard time trying to figure out like, is media days going by the wayside, or is it just because Expo's up now that they're like, we don't really need to tell the media people till like the day of that we release this because they're all going to be in town anyway because they already told us they're not coming to Star Wars because they're all coming to Expo. You know what I'm saying?
sure. Okay, there were a few aspects, and I'll try to unwrap and subdivide these things, okay? So, is it possible that the media day last month wasn't as big a deal because it was so close to Expo? Is it possible? Sure. However, yes, these things are still valuable because the people who are putting down the money are ultimately going to be listening to these content creation things, and it makes more sense for us to be able to talk better informed about the product than it is for us to speculate, which is what we've done for the most part, right? We've had to
Yeah.
speculate a lot.
Yeah, we did.
And by us talking and saying, okay, these are the pros, these are the cons, this is what we see, and this is where we would project it. Now, occasionally it's not as accurate because we don't have the long-term viability of the product. Like we can see how it is set up at Stern, but Stern also has professional techs who are there to dial in a machine. So how is that going to be when they buy it at home? But it definitely makes sense. Now, whether or not you did bring up Stern putting out official stuff, well, that can be a mixed bag because anytime you have something coming from the company, it's going to be viewed as a PR move. They're not going to bring up the negatives. They'll probably just emphasize the positives. And that's understandable. If Ford is going to give me a 30-minute infomercial on the Mustang, I'm guaranteeing that they're going to push all the things that they think are great on the Mustang. They may not be able to talk about the other stuff. So yes, I talked way too long on that, but the bottom line is yes, I think it does matter to be able to have media have more information on it, and ultimately, you and I have like I've purchased probably over 25, 30 games, and we're the ones who are consuming this content. And so you're going to be getting the people who are buying the high volume games by having the media involved in pushing the product.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So, um, I think that Scott and I will now talk about some stuff that we're only going to have on Patreon that deals with Stern. Um, so if you want to listen, go to our Patreon. All right, now back to our regularly programmed schedule. Scott, let's move on to Jersey Jack Pinball.
Okay.
They released Harry Potter in May, and the game is selling like hotcakes. At least that's from what I understand. Every distributor you ask cannot get a hold of one of these till spring, is what I'm being told. So that's 5, 6 months out. I mean, I think it's a combination, right? Like they're selling really well, but my understanding is they don't have the manufacturing capability to keep up. Because I'm not seeing a ton of these out in the wild. I mean, they're all going into homes.
I think they're
But I
going to
really,
homes.
yeah,
I truly think they're going to homes.
oh yeah, and it's a brand new, like this is brand new people. Like I'm getting calls from people like, I know you know Zach at Flipping Out. I've got a
Mhm.
friend that's never owned a pinball machine. Their first one they want's Harry Potter. Can you hook me up? And I messaged Zach. I'm like, when can I get one? And he's like, good luck.
Yeah. Well,
you know,
but because Zach's not okay, here is one huge positive thing about Zach. He's not going to lie to you. There are
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
people who will lie to you, and I saw this in the construction industry where people will overbook their jobs, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we can do that," when they know they can't. And so they'll come and they'll be working your job and three other jobs, so they're there one third of the time, just trying to float to pretend like they're doing something when the bottom line is they overbooked.
yeah,
Zach's not going to do that. Zach's going to tell you, "Hey, this is what's going on," and even even JJP is not giving us accurate updates on what we can expect. Now, what's the pros and cons of this? So the pros, well, this is a little bit like the CGC model, where CGC is a little more along the model of we would prefer to have a steady production schedule and people will get the games when they get them and they're willing to wait for quality, then totally expand their manufacturing, blow out a whole bunch of games in 3 months, and then collapse their workforce and having to lay people off because there's only so many games you're going to sell, right?
Right.
So I would say the plus of this is Harry Potter seems to be a bona fide hit. It seems to be a fun game. It seems to be well designed. Eric did a great job.
Oh, always, man. Dude's
And
brilliant.
it looks beautiful. And really, regardless of whether or not you're getting the collector's edition or the arcade or the wizard edition, you will be happy with all three of those. So I appreciate that they have a quality product. And the bottom line is people are going to wait for a quality product. Like that it will be available when it's available. So I would rather them do this than scale up so aggressively and not be able to sustain that, because the question is always going to be what is after Harry Potter? Because Harry Potter it was like that unobtainable license that they were able to get.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a rock and a hard spot. I'm gonna tell you why. So with
Okay.
Jersey Jack Pinball, they've got a bona fide hit. We all know that. The line is cooking for the next foreseeable future, at least into the spring.
Next year, I would say next
Yeah,
year. Yeah.
easily next year. Um, Typically, JJP does about every 9 months, and granted, with Harry Potter, that was pushed back 2 months because of, licensing restrictions, is what we were told.
Mhm.
So, looking at what we have right now, when a pinball company, any pinball company, makes a deal with these people to make a product based off of their license, they have a certain time window that they need to reveal by. Um,
Or renew the license.
or renew the license, but there is a contractual obligation to hit a certain window, and there is grace, right? Like, we all know there's problems, COVID happens, parts happen, like, there's grace there, right? Like, it's not,
Sure.
like, hard and fast with most of these licensors because they know that this is a very labor-intensive product that is not just a toy they're putting on a shelf. But here's the thing, so if you're cooking on Harry Potters and you're good to go till spring at least, what do you do? Do you keep making Harry Potters and you convince the licensor for the next license just to push back another 3 to 6 months? Do you reveal and cut short maybe Harry Potter sales? Because here's the thing too, is like Harry Potter's still selling, but you would literally have to stop the line when you're cooking and be like, "Okay, well, now we're switching everything over to the new game," and then you're producing the new game, not knowing how it's going to perform. So it becomes this catch-22 of like, do you keep making what you know is working, or do you move on and hope that that works, and then you just come back to Harry Potter when you have an opportunity?
How many games is Stern producing simultaneously?
Yeah, but Stern has 3 massive lines.
Okay. Okay. But
4, actually. There's a 4th one,
okay.
but that's a different story. Anyway, but yeah, there's 3 for sure,
Okay.
always going.
But they're already changing the line a little bit because they have the
Yeah.
collector's edition, and then they have to change it for the wizard, and then they have to change it for the other for the arcade edition. So now it depends. I would suspect, I have no inside knowledge on this, but I would suspect that they scheduled this for a double release window
Okay.
to say that this is not a 9-month window. This is at least an 18-month window. I would suspect we're not going to hear the next Harry Potter or the next JJP release until maybe Expo of next year. I truly feel that. If not, they can certainly make something and have it out. But having a line simultaneous, okay, this week we're going to run whatever their next game is. And then we'll go back, we'll do Harry Potter for 2 weeks. And so you can still develop a catalog, which would be smart too, to say, hey, we don't just have one game, we have 2 or 3 games that you can get. So that would be smart if they were able to do that. But to to not negotiate an extended window for something like Harry Potter, I think would be criminal. And the fact that we know they paid this is by far the most expensive license. So there if you're going to pay that much for a license, there's going to be a lot of contingencies on anticipating that this is going to be a long-term license. So I'm not too worried about about JJP because this is a little bit like it's like Guns N' Roses, but I think they learned a lesson in Guns N' Roses because Guns N' Roses they kept writing Guns N' Roses until it was done, right?
Yeah.
But Harry Potter, I think, will have longer legs than Guns N' Roses. It'll be a little bit like Wizard of Oz. Like, how long were they producing Wizard of Oz? They were producing it
Um,
for a long time,
long time, and then they kept going back to the well
and
on
then they
that one
kept
as
going
well.
back. So I would think that this is that whenever they decide to release the next game, they will still be making Harry Potter 2-1 on the next game, and they'll
Probably.
probably be making it like that for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we're expecting Harry Potter at Expo.
Yeah,
We're not expecting anything new revealed there. Spooky, I don't think they're revealing anything at Expo. They're gonna Spooky
no,
does what Spooky does. They do it the best, the way that they do it. I guarantee, well, not guarantee. I guess I'm going to highly educatedly guess we're going to need to see their next heavily rumored game, Beetlejuice, in December, with them wrapping up Evil Dead's by the end of December and getting on the line in January Beetlejuice. What do you think, Scott? Sound about accurate?
that makes sense. Spooky doesn't do simultaneous. They don't. If there's one company that they're going to make the same game until they're done, it's typically Spooky. And
Well, so they're
it's
doing two games at once, like Looney Tunes and
yeah, yeah, but I mean, that's
Chainsaw.
the same layout. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're
yeah, I
they're
know
not,
what you mean.
they're not known for swapping out at the speed at which I mean, Stern can turn over the line in a day or a few hours. They'll wheel
Yeah,
a few things in and they'll be like, okay, this is what we're doing. Spooky's not that. It's a smaller company. Again, they know who they are and they know what their market is, and so they're really good at tailoring to the market. So they focus on this is the next game, and when they come out, yeah, they can kind of work a few magic things, but there's no chance they're going to be releasing anything right now. Spooky just has found the sweet spot where they are not competing with anybody else for their launch windows. They're not. They're just releasing the games
yeah,
when
I
they're
agree.
done. And from what I hear, Evil Dead it's a hot seller. So good for them. What a great game.
Well, it sold out in March. I
Yeah.
mean, they revealed in December, so taking orders in what, halfway through December, maybe beginning of
Yeah.
January, and then they were sold out by the TPF of March. So,
So
I mean, that's
good for them. What a great way of doing it.
yep, I agree. More power to them. Love those guys over there. Very
Mhm.
down to earth people. I've always enjoyed it. If you haven't seen things like Bump in the Night, it's their documentary. But it's just a really good one, and I'm
Mhm.
excited to see them there. I'm excited to get my hands on an Evil Dead. Play this. I'm hearing the top 3 games for 2025 is King Kong, Harry Potter, and Evil Dead. I think that's amazing because, I mean, arguably, I mean, Spooky's a mom and pop. They very present themselves as that way,
Yeah.
and you're running with when you're competing on a level of the the size of Stern, and people feel that your product is on par or better than what is being produced at that level.
Mhm.
You're doing something right.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about there is gonna be a new reveal at Expo, though, from American Pimp nope, sorry, not American Pinball,
Orbit.
Orbit Games. We did talk about some of this in the Patreon exclusive content of stuff that we can't talk about here, so we're gonna focus mostly on Whirlaball. You've now seen this, they posted it on their socials. Um, Okay, what is this thing? It looks like a skee ball. I put it here on the screen with us. It looks like a skee ball bowler. I don't know. Like you roll the ball up it and then it rolls back at you. Like I don't fully understand what this is, Scott.
I don't at all. Okay, Josh, if you are an arcade and you are trying to decide what to put in your location, what is the biggest concern that you're going to have with the game?
Maybe maintenance and getting parts.
Okay. How about space?
Space too, yeah, real estate.
Yeah,
That is
real
definitely a
estate.
term behind the scenes of, like,
Yes.
profitability per square footage, right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, you by the way, you're 100% right on also being able to, like, maintain it, and so I look at this game, I'm thinking, "Okay, so if I'm running an arcade, do I want to buy something like this, or do I want to buy, like, a Raw Thrills game that has no maintenance, and people put a dollar in, and they're shooting giant space aliens or playing giant Pac-Man or something," right?
Yeah,
And and so is it possible that they're gonna sell any of these? Maybe, but, to make it in today's arcade, you either need to have a ticket redemption option, that's one thing, or you need to have, like, an over the top Raw Thrills type thing where you're playing Space Invaders, but your screen is 12 feet tall, right? And you're shooting it
yeah,
with a laser beam, or you're playing a
yeah, yeah,
giant Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game,
yeah.
or something like that, something that's over the top. I'm sorry, Josh. This thing looks like it came out of an '80s arcade that was,
It really does. You're
you
being
know,
generous at 80s. I wanna feel pre-80s, man. This thing's
yeah.
looking like 70s, 60s. This does not scream excitability to me. I didn't so I've looked at the thing, it says you can have up to 6 players. I don't fully understand that. Um, I assume it gives out tickets because I know skee ball gives out tickets.
Yeah, but do you know how big a skee ball is? Skee balls are huge. I actually looked at getting one for my downstairs, and, like, when I look, it would have taken up, basically the width of 1.5 pinball machines, and it's, like, 8 to 12 feet long. That's a
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
amount. Like,
that is.
am I going to put that in my arcade when, like, okay, at Lagoon, which is our, which is our 7, whatever, the Six Flags or whatever, and they have an arcade there, and I've walked through it a few times. It used to have like, Pac-Man, all that kind of stuff, and pinball machines. All it has now is Raw Thrills games. That is 100% what it has. It is either Ticket Redemption or Raw Thrills or something like that.
Yep,
I
yep.
can't imagine how this thing fits into it.
No, I
It's
agree. So yeah, look in this flyer. It says it has 9 balls. You can play up to 6 players, score multipliers, mini games, bonus rounds, under 3 what the crap does that say? I'm sorry. 3 lanes, under 3 oh, wider 3-foot lanes. I apologize. This
Mhm.
tells me nothing of what this is. And it does look like it has a little bit of a ticket redemption thing here in the bottom. I just I'm not excited for this thing at all. Like and I guess it's at Expo. So play it and we'll give our thoughts on it. But
Okay,
yeah,
I'll be interested to see because I can't figure out how this is even remotely related to pinball. It's tangentially related to arcade, but 100% related to ticket redemption. So, I guess the next thing we can check out is, like, the punching bag, the punching bag, so how hard you hit a bag for a ticket, or that little time the bleeping light so you can get tickets. I mean, it's so far away from pinball that I don't even understand it.
I agree too. It's kind of kooky. I did have someone because this has been being like rumored for a little bit now,
Sure.
and so to see them actually say, "Hey, this is revealed." So the person asked because it was a quick Google, and they found that
Mhm,
Franklin Sports, the people that make like little yard games and stuff like that,
mhm,
released a game called Whirl Ball. So not Whirl O Ball, but World
mhm.
Ball a few years back. Do you think they're going to run into licensing issues
I don't
where
know.
it's that similar?
This
And it's like a skee ball looking game. It's like a tabletop skee ball for Whirl Ball, where this is like Whirl O Ball, but it's 3 foot wide apparently and huge. It's just I don't know.
uh,
We'll see how
okay,
this is. Yeah,
I figured out American Pinball, okay? American Pinball, it seems like a an AI driven imagination on how I'm going to make an arcade company. And so they've come up with these like they look like illusions of games. Like the pinball always felt pinball adjacent. It was good, but not great, right? And this feels like, okay, now we're going into ticket redemption. This seems like okay, but not great. There's nothing that makes me look at this and say, I'm going to buy this for my location.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a company is that has really no connection to the audience is making products and hoping that people will dump $8,000 on this thing. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. And is it $8,000? I don't know. Someone said 5. I don't
Okay,
there's not been
okay,
a
but
price that's been floated out there, but still
fine,
5,000.
fine.
Yeah, it's still a lot of money.
5,000 is a lot of money for someone just to randomly say, "Hey, I have no idea what this thing is. I'm gonna buy it."
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, let's move on to Pinball Brothers. They're coming over from across the pond.
Okay.
They're bringing Predator with them. You have till December to decide if you want this game. This is another game that Zach does carry at Flipping Out. So if you like what you see, you can talk to him. I think this just looks like a wide body version of Whirlwind that's been tweaked and a giant jungle theme on it. Like I don't.
It may be
I
fun.
will play it. Yeah, it
Y
might be fun.
You and I are definitely gonna seek this out because, we saw that and the unfortunately, the approved licensing versus what was actually put out was confusing because apparently there's a lot of challenges about even using Arnold's image at all. I believe you can't use his
Yeah.
face at all,
Yeah,
so
you can't use his face. You can use his chest apparently.
yeah. Well, okay, fine. But but the one streaming thing had like a non-approved code that had like Arnold's face in it, which was interesting. So I'll be curious to see how the live version of the game is going to be and see what we're actually going to play. I know people liked Alien. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't something that I was super interested in. So we'll see how it holds up and it certainly may hit that nostalgia mud for someone who's interested in having it down.
Yeah, yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for me for
Yeah.
for that.
Okay, but
I don't see
I
seeing
would
that.
say this is like one of those incomplete grades because you
Yeah.
and I haven't played this game and we want to go and see it before we can tell you what we think about it. And by the way, if you see us at Expo, and for the most part, I try to wear a loser kid hat so people can recognize me and come up and tell me things that I should check out. And so I will be there with a loser kid hat. We usually have some swag in our backpack that we can hook you up with. And so uh, if there's something that we are missing, please go and seek us out. And also, again, reminder, we have our little seminar, the content creator seminar that it's Friday, correct, Josh?
Correct, at 11.
At 11 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say you should also check out the gentleman that I can't find his name on TikTok. I do apologize. I'm gonna get a message from him probably tomorrow. But the gentleman that did the voice acting for Arnold, he did like a Pink Pony Club version, but it's all Arnold Schwarzenegger singing because he does the voice for Arnold. It was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty funny. But yeah, if I find his name, I'll post it. Uh, all right, let's move on to on our notes. We've got
No Big Bang
Pedretti.
Bar.
Yeah, no Big Bang. So the rumor is this rumor hit strong. What about 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Big Bang Bar is the next remake from Pedretti. The
Maybe,
rumor,
again, rumor,
rumor,
allegedly.
yeah, yeah. When I'm talking about this, all the context is rumor. I've been told now, regardless, there's no remake coming from Pedretti at Expo. So there's another. Uh, I don't know, maybe not, but I'm being told it's not going to be there. So
Have you played a Big Bang Bar live?
no,
Like, not the video version. Have you played it a live one?
no, and that's the crazy part. Do you know how many people I've talked to that is like, I've never even seen this in like the flesh. I've been in this hobby for 14 years now,
Mhm.
12 of it owning a pinball machine, and I've never seen one of these in the flesh. And I've talked to high level competitive players that are like, yeah, I've never seen one either.
Yeah.
Because they only made what 192
The
of them,
it was a small amount. Is that
118, something like that.
including the Gene Cunningham version too?
So yeah, the original run was 10 from Capcom,
Sure, okay.
and then I wanted to say they had made enough boards and parts to do like 118 or 190. I know it's a big swing on the number there, but And then Gene had bought them up and decided to make them. And even back then, it was, I mean, mid 2000s, and he was only asking like 4,500, and it ended up
Yeah, he
costing like
actually lost
7 or 8
money.
grand. Oh yeah,
He made them and lost money. It's
yeah,
interesting guy. I'll put it that way. Again, when pigs fly, go check out the write up. It's really interesting
yeah,
how even it got made. So I don't know if people just never bring these out. I think I have a better chance of playing Kroll than I have of playing Big Bang Bar.
yeah. It's weird, and they're worth so much money. I think that's another thing too. People don't want to bring them out and get them scuffed up when they're worth three.
Right,
Here's the thing, though: the people that own these,
right.
and granted, if you own one and it was like a Grail that's sitting in your corner, I don't think money really matters much to you on the value of it, because it's like, well, I have my Grail pin. But those that are like sitting on this to make money, you might want to start
Sell 'em.
selling it
Sell 'em.
now.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should.
because it's gonna drop. It
Yeah.
definitely is gonna take a hit.
Well, Medieval Madness did too, but I would argue that Medieval Madness, I mean, back what, 8 years ago, they were going for $15,000.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so and by the way, that
They
is
still
the
are. They
okay,
still are. There, it depends on the edition, stuff like that. But
okay,
yeah,
but $15,000 for a standard Williams edition that was made in 1998 or 1999, okay?
yeah,
So, now and you're getting the bells and whistles. With the Merlin edition, you're getting all the bells and whistles, okay? So it's a different game. But, yeah, this is again, I don't know if there's an appetite for this. I don't know. It's not like Cactus Canyon, which, by the way, I think Cactus Canyon is a fun game, and with the new kit that by the way, we're working on. I got the kit. I still haven't gotten a chance to install it, so we definitely want to review it. I've been so busy. I apologize, but even bringing the kit to it, it makes it a better game, or at least it gives it more stuff to do. So, what is I don't know, Big
and
Bang
I'm
Bar, it
impressed. These
feels kinda
kits are
dated.
the kits are surprisingly cheap compared
Oh,
to everything else that's on the
100%.
market.
100%.
Like
You're paying for a
250,
topper.
already have the topper, and then
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, it just
this Godzilla topper right here was $1,000, okay? Does
yeah.
nothing to the game. It's cool. I like it. I'm a topper guy, but it's eye candy, okay? This is functional candy that makes the game a lot better, a lot different.
Oh yeah, 100%. So yeah, I if you have a Cactus Canyon, find the 250. Like it's I don't see a reason why not.
Well,
I'm surprised they didn't go
12.50,
higher on it.
Josh,
Huh?
for the
1250?
kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't $250.
Are you sure? Okay. I'll find them.
Okay.
Still though,
Okay.
1250.
Okay, well, I way overpaid if it was 250. No, it's not. It's not. So I'm 100% sure on this, but I'm going to fact check myself.
All right, here you go. I've got it pulled up right here, dude. So you go
Okay,
to
sorry.
flippingoutpinball.com,
Okay,
you click shop, you press Chicago Gaming Company
there you
games,
go.
and the very top right, Cactus Canyon Pinball Alignment Sheets Upgrade Kit, 250. Do you think that's wrong?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, Zach, maybe you need to fix. Oh, this is a pre-order deposit. The deposit is non-refundable.
Okay, thank
The
you. I'm
250
not.
part of the total price of the game.
Oh my gosh. Like seriously, you were just like, oh,
Under it too. Yeah, 1250 right
oh
there plus
my
shipping.
gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay, you were making me question. I was like, no way, it's not 250. 250 deposit. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. You're gonna have to. We
Oh,
had a lot of dead time in that
yeah.
search because Josh was making me question my grasp on reality. But yeah,
I apologize. It was 1250.
okay. But
So,
okay, Josh. Again, this topper right here is
but
a
again, the
thousand
topper.
bucks. The topper is $1,000, and it doesn't
Yeah.
change the game. This makes it a completely new game because when I look at this, okay, let's just run down what is part of this kit. So this is, let's see. This is the Josh Sharp Lyman Cheats, 10 new modes, 2 enhanced modes. It has a lot of saloon fights. It does the beer cup thing on the side,
Yep.
drunken multi-ball, saloon party, Marshall High Noon. There's a lot of stuff there that you're going to change the game. And to be okay, full disclosure, go and listen to Joel, because Joel had this for a while and he played it. And the bottom line is he thought with the kit This made it more fun than Medieval Madness,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. By the way, my kid's favorite game is Medieval Madness, and there's a lot of reasons for that. It's accessible, it's straightforward, they can understand what they're doing, and the castle freaking blows up, okay?
It
So,
it
freaking
sharks with
blows up.
freaking laser
Freaking
guns
blows
on
up,
their head.
freaking laser sharks. But, okay, making a game that is more complete and era specific is important, and the nice thing about this kit is it does feel like it's an upgraded version of a '90s game. Because and
Yeah.
that's the challenge. You're this was where I think Monsters, kinda ran into an issue is that it was kind of a modern version of a game that was trying to feel like a '90s game, but people didn't make that connection, but it really should have been. It should have been in that same era, and this is an upgrade kit for Cactus Canyon that makes it, that makes it a better version of the classic game.
I agree. So, all right, let's move on to so I have the last note I have on here
Oh my gosh.
is pinball legends, these statues that uh planetary pinball along with DPX Dutch pinball
DPX,
is
DPX.
is bringing to you these statues brought from Bally Williams Classics. Oh, and also it's the art from Lior Mods,
Okay,
based out of Israel. Okay.
sure, sure.
Uh, le- where do you want to start with these?
Um, I'm okay, I wanna pull up the pictures again.
Okay, you pulled the pictures. I'm gonna. So, I was really like confused because they started releasing these on a Saturday. So I was like, so we're releasing these like probably arguably the worst day to release any content, right? Like, so the first one revealed. The funny part is like the way that the picture was done.
Mhm,
It just looked weird, and then when it finally revealed, and it's a statue of the Circus Voltaire ringmaster with like the lady ringmaster in his hand. I don't know. I can't remember what her name is. I was like, okay, like this isn't bad. This isn't terrible. We're not getting any pricing from this. And then number two released, and it was the genie from Toten. And I'm like, like it's if this is what floats your boat, cool. Like this, it's not a terrible idea. And then we started getting weird, right? Like day
mhm,
three. So these are releasing day after day after day. And number three is the troll from Medieval Madness. But the interesting part is you only really see the head of the troll. I know there's like they're in the back glass, right? But they took some liberties of like giving them like high top Converse sneakers and like metal knee pads, and just it was kind of, I guess there's a little goofiness to there, but it looks it's not my favorite. And
okay,
then the
it
fourth one revealed, and it was the Attack from Mars Martian. And it looks awkward to me because it's like it's got like this angry pose and it's holding a silver ball, but for some odd reason, like it looks like this really mad, ticked off, coming at you, Martian, and then his fourth hand is giving himself bunny
his
ears.
bunny ears, yeah.
And you're like,
Okay,
what?
so where are you finding the pictures? Because I'm actually literally looking, and when I try to type this stuff in, do you know
Oh,
what it pulls up?
it's all via Carrie Hardy. They did this all via Carrie Hardy.
Okay,
Check
alright,
out our friend Carrie Hardy's Facebook page. And then the
okay.
fifth one hit, and I'm like, we're still doing this. Like, this is still a thing. And it was oh, what is his name? It's the gentleman from Party Zone, the main guy, the guy with the chin and the propeller hat and everything like that.
Mhm,
And I was just like, I finally texted her. I'm like, dude, how many more of these are there? Because these are just they're getting worse. Like they're just, in my opinion, they're not my favorite. Like I get art is objective. I would not buy any of these to put on my shelf. I just don't feel like any of these stand out, right?
mhm,
And then the last one, Doctor Dude. And Doctor Dude holds a special place in my heart. There's a funny story behind that. We'll talk about it some other time. Uh, but the interesting part about Doctor Dude, his pants are a little taunt on the statue, and I'm like, who wants a happy to see a Doctor Dude sitting on their shelf? I don't. It's just really weird. And when I texted Carrie's like, "Well, today's the last one for series one." I'm like, "You're telling me there's more of these?"
oh,
And then
wow.
he reveals there's six more on top of the six he revealed going to be at
Okay, is
Expo.
it just in his Patreon?
I don't think so. I could have swore he put them on his Facebook page.
Okay, well, I'm on his
They
Facebook.
look I don't know. They're just they're something else, dude. They're not what I sent them in our chat. You can look at them through our chat, but
Yeah,
we
I know.
do talk a lot, so they're probably buried in there.
Yeah, this is
Just look under attachments, under like shared links and stuff like that.
yeah.
These are weird. They're totally weird. They're different. So for the big one, so it doesn't even really give a size. From what I could tell, it said a sixth the scale is worth 300 and a
Mhm,
12th the scale is $90. So I don't know. I know that Colin from Kineticus and This Week in Pinball had talked about he gave his little ideas and thoughts on them. He had attributed some of this to his Roger Sharp figurine that he did.
mhm.
Was that last year, shortly after Expo last year? I just I don't know. Are we at that point of the hobby? I just feel like this is too niche upon niche, right?
Okay, now there's always a danger when you have these things. I can't even find these pictures. I remember seeing them. Was this you personally, or was this
It was in Triple Drain.
yeah, so
There's our big secret. We've been talking with Triple Drain.
yeah, yeah, we talked to them all the time. Okay.
But here's the other thing too. So
Okay,
I think these could be successful on a point, and here's the reason: is if you focus mainly on the virtual arcade people, and you
sure.
start pushing these through Zen Studios and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and it might be successful on a pinball enthusiast level, but like video game people, they love statues. There is full like secondary market people that make a living off of building limited edition statues based out of your favorite games and they're licensed, like Luigi's Mansion or
Yeah.
Beyblade or whatever it may be. Maybe we're at that point, but I think if you're going to reach a bigger audience, it's definitely going to be through Zen Studios than it is through the pinball enthusiast. I don't know. You can also look at like $300 isn't a lot of money for a statue to a pinball enthusiast. I mean, maybe nowadays the economic situation we're in, but overall, they're just I don't know, like you were saying behind you, like the toppers are $1,000. So maybe $300 for a statue isn't a big deal, and collecting all these would be cool to someone. I don't know. They're just not for me. If they're for you, cool. Like that's cool. But what do you think, Scott?
So um I do have some pinball related stuff, right? That's kind of fun. I was able to get an awesome Sparky, original Sparky that I have in my in my area. I have like some Rush bobblehead dolls. I have a Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, and I'm looking over here just like all my pinball stuff. I have the GTF lunchbox, you know, and the Sentinel head and little just random stuff, which I think are kind of fun, but they're also game related, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just kind of fun to have them because I can see them, but it's not, it's not crazy. Now, I I fully admit the biggest mistake that you can make in evaluating things is to say, this isn't for me, therefore it's not going to be a sale.
Oh,
Okay.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So now this is probably not for me, but I can see some people who want to buy the stuff. And there are people who have full on uh like the Star Wars collectors who have every single toy and they get like 3 versions of it so they can have one in a sealed package, one that they open up and put in a display case and one that they can open up and play with, right? So are those people like the ones who are going to be doing these things? And so great. Um to be blunt, I just wish they looked cooler. They
Yeah.
look kind of like silly.
They
And
kind of do.
and so like I wish that like okay, if you look at so looking at I'm looking across from me. So my CGC toppers. So I have the Attack from Mars topper, which the guy looks awesome, right? It's one of the
Yeah.
best
Yep.
toppers in pinball. You look at the Medieval Madness topper, where they just look great. And even like the Monster Bash topper, which is probably the less great one, but they still look pretty good because you have Dracula, which looks like he's wearing black lipstick. But I don't it just feels like when you're comparing them to those toppers, it feels like they've missed something. They're going for campy and not cool.
Yeah, kind of. Trying to draw
So
they try to get that line and it definitely crossed over.
so maybe, I'm curious, but I am curious because just because I'm saying I'm not gonna buy buy them, Josh is saying he's not gonna buy them, doesn't mean they're not going to sell. So I'm really curious. Now, I also thought the same thing about the Roger Sharp figurine. I thought the Roger Sharp figurine was cool, but, like, for my budget, everybody has to figure out what they're gonna sell. I thought it was, like, $30 cool or $20 cool. I didn't think I can't remember what they sold for, but they sold for a lot more than that.
I thought well, there was 2 different prices. One was if it was signed by Roger, and then the other one was if it was just him by himself.
Yeah. Okay. But either way, I mean, it was cool. It was like a total like 1970s Star Wars figure. That's
Yeah.
exactly what
Yep.
it looked like. So,
Yep. Yep.
I'm curious though. If you are in the market to buy these things, please tell me what I'm missing. Hey, let's take a moment. So this is a good pivot moment. So, I'm sitting down, but if I raise my shirt up, you can
Yeah,
see I'm
Pinball
wearing
Studio.
the Pinball Studio shirt. Okay, so let's give the Pinball Studio a shout out. Let's talk a little bit about them, Josh.
Yeah, we wanna thank Sterling Martin. He sent us the swag stuff, a couple weeks ago. It's a tournament-only location in Georgia, but he started up his own podcast. He's doing really good stuff. I'm enjoying what I'm hearing out of him. Yeah, man. What else did you wanna say about,
Well, and I did see on Facebook that they were looking at, it sounds like the Pinball Studio, the location is a membership thing. I mean, he had an open membership, and so it's nice to know that there are people who are still doing these boutique places because a lot of people have they either are private collectors and have a small amount, or they are like me and they are collectors, but they've run out of space. And people being able to have a collective area and being able to join like a bigger community so they can share their games. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's doing, but either way, being part of a little pinball club is a great way of developing the community of pinball because pinball is a social game, really. Like I love playing pinball down here alone, but it's way more fun to be playing with other people. And so definitely check him out. Give his podcast a little shout out, and we definitely are looking forward to. Do you know if he's coming to Expo? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a good question.
but if you see someone wearing the pinball this rainbow shirt at the Pinball Studio, do go ahead and shout him out. Give him a chat.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, I think that does it for our episode, Scott. I'm flying in Tuesday, but I'm gonna downtown on Wednesday, so I'll be around pretty much Thursday for the rest of Expo. You're coming up Thursday, right, Scott?
I'll be flying in Thursday, so I'm taking a morning flight, and I should be there. Okay, so I am flying in Thursday, and I should be landing about 12:30. So I'll pick up my
Yeah.
car. We're staying at the Embassy Suites, so if you're over at the Embassy Suites across, then let me know. I'll be staying there with Mark Silk, and we'll be driving across and checking things out. Now, where are some things that we are likely to be? We know that we are going to be at our seminar on Friday.
11 AM. Yep.
Yeah, and there's also like, isn't there some events at night?
So, Media Mixer, we're gonna
Okay,
be at This Week in Pinball Media Mixer, the Kinesis one Colin puts on every year.
okay,
This is his 3rd year. Um, yeah,
and what
we'll be there
that's Thursday night, right?
Thursday night. I wanna
At
say, like, 6
Interium,
to
right?
9
At
in
Interium.
Interium
Yep,
in the mall.
yep.
Other than that, I don't really have much more plans
Okay,
outside of whatever pops up.
we'll be around, but we're going to be popping in and out of seminars. I highly recommend the Dwight Let's Make a Deal. It's the last seminar on Saturday night, and he certainly, if there's someone who's wired to be a combination dungeon master game show host, it is Dwight. So definitely meet that. But we will be walking around. I'll be with my son, so keep it clean when you come up and talk to me, and hopefully Josh and I will probably be together most of the time, but either way, reach out and talk to either of us. We'd love to see you.
Yep, and if you're looking for good food, I recommend personally me, everyone's gonna tell you lose. I like Giordano's better. the all meat pie, deep dish, delicious. I'm actually a bigger fan of Portillo's than in Johnny Beef. I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that as well, but they do an Italian sausage and they put it in the Italian sandwich as well. And
Okay,
I think that's delicious too.
wait. Didn't we go with Dennis and Tony, and you were the only one without a sausage in your sandwich?
That was 2021. I've been back like 4 times since, dude. So yes, but Johnny's Beef is really good. I think they're a really good Italian beef sandwich. I think Portillo's has a really delicious Italian beef with sausage sandwich. So there's that. But say hi to us. Come say. I know there's plenty of you already excited. You've said in the comments excited to meet us and everything. Don't be afraid to come up and talk to us.
I'm hoping that I didn't get to order a new stack of stickers, but I think I have enough that I'll just have them in my bag. And if that's your thing, come up and hit me up, and I'll be able to hook you up.
Same here. So, other than that, if you want to get a hold of us, we're loserkidpinballpodcast@gmail.com. Honestly, if you want the most interaction with us, Facebook is probably the best place, but we are on all the socials. So Instagram, X, Threads, all the jazz, right? If you're watching via YouTube, we appreciate you doing that. And hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that jazz. Scott, give us our final words.
I'll see you at Expo. Come up and say hi.